program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hey, this is Mark Cuban. You're listening to The Launch.
You are now tuned into The Launch, where we help you build engaging and meaningful brands, including entrepreneurship, branding, launching new products, digital marketing, and the strategies that you need to launch and grow your business. Watch us live on Facebook and Instagram at The Launch Radio, or listen live on 95.3 FM or 1470 AM, or the iHeartRadio app. Have questions? Call in at 888-565-1470 or post your questions on Facebook Live. Now, let's get started.
Hey guys, how are ya? It's John Bajrano. Welcome to The Launch, episode 6, where we help launch and build the business of your dreams. My name is John Bajrano. I'm an international branding strategist. I also run First Class Alliance, which is a branding and licensing agency. We work with entrepreneurs and launching businesses, making money online. With me have our lovely co-hosts.
With an S, it's plural, co-host. Hi, everybody.
Jesus Manuel.
Yes, happy Friday. I'm your customer service design, and it is an amazing day to be alive today. Yes.
Yes. And I'm Jose Castellanos. Yep, Jose Castellanos here. You're a digital marketing expert. You know, I do everything from search engine optimization, website optimization, Google AdWords, so handling all the digital marketing aspects of your business.
That's
Word
right.
up. That's important. Today, we're going to talk about crowdfunding. So, in the past,
more money.
Raising money. In the past few episodes, we've spoke about from angel investing to the business and legal structure of the business, the marketing plan, a lot of great things. Now I want to talk to you guys about another avenue to raising capital and building that business of your dreams. So crowdfunding is really, it started a few years ago? Just a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's really blowing up. But in a nutshell, it's a way for you to raise money for your startup business through multiple people, hundreds, dozens, thousands of people, and you can raise a ton of money if you do it right. So we're going to share with you the secrets of how to launch and reach your financial goals for this.
And you know what, John, I just want to share with you, because I was Googling about crowdfunding earlier, and it says that it's been actually there for a while. The publishers of the books, they've been using that. So if they have an idea for a book, they go to the people that they know, and they share the idea and they get the funding from it. But like this time, it's more like digital. But before, they're actually using it like old school.
So the model has been around for quite some time, but sites like Kickstarter and IndieThe, they haven't been around for that long. So it's really an explosive way to grow your business.
Yeah, so really it's, from just going from family and friends to now being able to reach the entire world to help you, start off your business and really raise some funds for it. And the best part is you don't have to pay it all back at all.
That's right. And you know what? Like, while you're saying that's around the world, we are actually around the world too. So if you are watching us right now, The Launch is live on Facebook. And you can also listen to us on WNN 95.3 FM and also on
1470
AM. And you can listen to us on iHeartRadio. And how do we find us on iHeartRadio?
On iHeartRadio, you have to go to...
Because I know you're expert.
Live radio.
Yeah, live radio.
Cities.
Live radio talk. You go to the cities, you pick Miami, and then you pick WNN, and then we're in there.
We'll be right there.
All right, there you go.
From 6 to 7 p.m.
I'm just testing you.
Every Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. live. But you can watch the replay on Facebook, and if you have questions, put it in a comment section, and we'll try to answer them throughout the show. We'll be listening. Somebody's watching it, so we'll be looking out for some questions.
Yeah, and also you can join us through calling us on the phone. It's going to be 1-888-565-1470.
Get your questions in.
Yes, and we have an amazing guest on today's show. But before we start that, we just want to give a quick shout out to Startup Bros and Will and Steve over there for coming on board as our founding sponsor and helping us.
Thank
you.
Helping us take this show to the next level. So really appreciate the support. And if you guys haven't watched episode 2 where Will was on there, incredible business model of selling products on Amazon. Right now I don't know if you guys heard recently, but there's a Wall Street Journal article that came out that shows that Amazon has been one of the most successful companies to invest in the past decade.
Wow.
It's gotten a growth of like 49,000% or something like that, and so it's growing. And right now, 10% of retail sales are being it's online. 90% is still retail. So online is still going to grow. We could agree that 10% online, that's definitely going to grow. And the amazing thing is that 50% of the retail sales is happening on the Amazon marketplace.
Wow.
So it's a great opportunity for people who are looking to sell their products that, yes, you want your own website and all that, but get on Amazon and learn how to sell the Amazon. And you can, if you have a product, great. But there's another model where you can actually white label, private label all these products. So you don't have to do a whole product launch from scratch. You could easily get them built and just have your branding on it. And there's a free webinar that Startup Bros does every week live. It's not a recording. So jump on there. So guys, go to thelaunchradio.com/Amazon. thelaunchradio.com/Amazon. And that's going to take you to the free live webinar that you guys could register for. And it is live, so let them know that you guys were there from us or the Launch Radio.
Yeah. They have one coming up, I think, in just a few days. I think like early next week.
We have to check that out. Yeah. And I also want to share that episode too. Will talked about the bath bombs. Remember that there's not a lot of people who's actually making it. And right after the show, a friend of mine started making her own bath bombs. And now she's selling it. Yeah, now she's selling it. Not in Amazon yet, but she's doing step by step. So she's selling it through people that she knows, and who knows, that would be one day an Amazon product.
Yeah, and I've had some friends who listened to the show and called me saying, they loved it, so they're going to sign up for the course. And definitely, I'm going to be selling some products on Amazon. So you gotta take advantage of the times. You can't sit on the sidelines for this stuff. So I want to introduce you guys to our guest speaker today. A friend of mine and colleague as well, Michael Mattiluni.
That is very close to it.
He's a digital marketer and podcaster. What's up, Mike? There you are.
Michael Mattiluni.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, hi, Mike. Love the hat.
Nice to meet you guys.
Great. Get a little more audio. So, also the great thing about Michael, to let everybody know, is that you have your own podcast as well. So it's called 10-Minute Hacks from the Best Marketing Minds. You got to put me on your show, by the way. Yeah, and so you guys can check that out as well. Mike has been doing podcasts and digital marketer for quite a few years. And one of the things that he's done while I invited him on the show has been in 2015, he took part of the crowdfunding campaign with ThinkCharger that raised $10 million in contributions through Facebook, YouTube, advertising, and Indiegogo. So the campaign on Indiegogo did a few dollars shy of $1 million. And then post that, they've been able to raise millions more directly. So this guy has lived through it, and we can talk about this whole campaign. So this is something as well that First Class Alliance, my agency, we help with this launch of Indiegogo, and Mike is part of that as well. So hit us up if you guys are interested in doing this model. All right, Mike, how are you?
I'm fantastic, and yes, when you say I've lived through it, that's a great way to put it. Can you guys not hear me?
Barely.
Barely.
So Freddie, if you can help us out with some audio.
But you're good.
You're good. Just keep going. Out. It's coming out. Just
Okay. I'll try to speak up a little bit. How about that?
Yeah. Just speak normally, and we'll. It's more here. The speaker in the studio.
Yeah.
So the reality behind crowdfunding is it's very, very challenging, but it's incredibly lucrative, and it's an amazing way for the average person to move from being an idea person to actually becoming an entrepreneur and starting to build a real business. And when you say live through it, that is definitely the word for it, because it is not an easy road, but it's an amazing road. And if you can follow the systems and the formulas that will not guarantee your success, because nothing is guaranteed out there, but if you understand the systems and formulas that we've used in the past and that some of the most successful crowdfunders have used in the past, you are going to dramatically increase your chances of being successful and going from an idea person to an entrepreneur. It's pretty exciting.
Absolutely, man. So for the people who are new to whole crowdfunding, let's break it down a little bit for them on the difference between crowdfunding and source funding, and what kind of platforms are out there. Let's talk a little about that.
Right. So a lot of people don't quite understand the difference between crowdfunding and crowdsourcing. So crowdfunding is the ability to launch an idea onto a platform and raise money from individual contributors, they're called backers, who are then supporting the original campaign, giving you working capital to start building your business or building your idea or taking your product to production. Crowdsourcing is something that people do when they come. For example, like if you think about certain types of software out there that are open source, right? Open source software is people coming together who have similar talents to build something together and then give it away, basically. So that's crowdsourcing. You're sourcing talent to support a project or an idea, whereas crowdfunding is actually an entrepreneur going out and soliciting funds from backers who then support the campaign. And generally what happens is backers will get perks, right? So they'll get offers of either, things from you as an individual or products when the product is finally released. So there are a lot of different ways and a lot of different models for how to crowdfund, but those are just a few.
Definitely. So let's talk a little bit about the process of this. If someone's looking to launch their campaign, let's walk them through it. So the one of the first things that people need to do is before they even launch the product is this product gonna work? Is it like you like to say a hot yes? Is it a hot yes? Making sure that it's a good idea, because it takes a lot of time, a lot of resources into doing this. And sure, you could use this as a way to learn if it's a success or not, but you want to try to make sure you have a good idea before you put a lot of money and time and effort into this whole campaign. So you got to research, and so tell me, how did you guys go about knowing if it's a good hot yes with the product that you worked on?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first got started with ThingCharger, I actually came on a little later after they had originally raised their first $600,000. But I know the story, so I'm going to walk you through it. So basically, what happened was Seymour had this incredible idea for a product called ThingCharger, and the product is actually pretty simple. I know our radio listeners can't see it, but I've actually got one here. It looks exactly like an outlet.
There it is.
Plug into the wall.
Wow.
It's got 2 USB ports underneath, and it's got interchangeable tips on the top, so that you can take out your the charging tip for either an Apple device or an Android device, and then you just plug your phone right on top. So you still have your outlets free to use, and you still have your USBs underneath. So it's a really cool product.
Wow, that's a lot of ThingCharger. You can charge a lot of things.
Yeah. So Seymour had this idea, right? But me just telling it to you, it's very difficult for you to fully understand the idea. So what he did was, he went and shot a video and created not a prototype, but a model that he could visually show people what this product is, what it does, and why it's useful. And so he shot this little mini video, about 15 seconds, just to show people, and he started showing people, and they're going, oh my God, I gotta have one. Like, I need this in my life. And that's a hot yes, right?
Yes.
What's not a hot yes is if I say, hey, John, hey, man, I just had this really cool idea for a backpack for turtles. I'm really passionate about it, and I love it. What do you think? And you're like, that's cool, Mike. You should do whatever whatever makes you happy. That's
sure, man, I'll buy it. I'll help you out.
Because you can't always depend on your friends.
For my turtles.
You need to be working, you need to be showing your product, your idea vividly to people, and then showing that to hopefully your ideal demographic, not just friends and family, and you're looking for that hot yes.
Absolutely, bro. Hot yes is important, man. So let's say you got the hot yes. Now we're going to take them to the next step. So the first thing is choosing the right platform. You got to do your research, right?
What are the options for platforms?
There's GoFundMe, Indiegogo, Kickstarter.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah, and they grow every day, right? So there's always something new. You even got like things like Patreon, which is like supporting young artists and musicians and things like that. So there's a lot of different types of platforms, and you want to make sure you're doing the research to figure out what is the right platform for you. So we chose Indiegogo originally because we did not have a working prototype of ThingCharger. We just had a model, an idea, and so we were able to go to Indiegogo because Indiegogo is a completely open, democratized platform, right? So anybody can literally launch an idea. You don't even have to have a working prototype. Whereas Kickstarter, you need a working prototype, and there's an application process. Patreon is for supporting local artists and musicians and different people doing different things on a monthly subscription model. So you really want to know how your idea, what you're doing, matches what platform, and that's a really important piece of research that you don't want to take lightly.
Yeah, so I think the turtle bags definitely Indiegogo. You woke up and like, I'm gonna have a turtle bag. I'm gonna go to Indiegogo today, and just launch it at nighttime, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, we'll work on that.
And also for some differences too on the platform is not only the type of products on there, but some of them like Kickstarter, you need to have a working prototype. And another one like Indiegogo, you don't have to have a working prototype, so there's different qualifications for them, and that you can match it up that way as well.
Yeah, and there's also different for different charities. GoFundMe is more for charities, and you can do
charities or individual
or
people.
Or yourself. Yeah. So you have to make sure to do your research and find which one is the right one for your product, your idea, whatever it may be. There's a lot of niche ones now. Like Michael was saying, there are a lot of them popping up nowadays. So,
yeah. So we can we'll talk about some of the main keys to success to launching a campaign and so the main kind of takeaways, and then actually we'll get into more in depth and take some questions if there are any and so on. So some of the three main keys to success from a campaign is one is to have a great pitch. Two is being proactive, and number three is having an audience that cares. And these notes come from a presentation by Danae Ringelman, who is the founder of Indiegogo.
One of
the founders of Indiegogo. So she did this presentation, and some of the notes come from there as well, added with our experience.
And a lot of her notes actually come from data based on, past campaigns that they have been running over the past, I think she said it was 5 years worth of data.
Yeah.
So these are really good tips as far as how to really become successful on one of these platforms, specifically Indiegogo.
Yeah. Again, because it's backed up with data that comes from in-house Indiegogo and not our own assumptions. So regarding a great pitch, one of the things is making sure you can tell a compelling story. That's starting also with like the why and the purpose of the product and how it's going to affect people and change the world and make a difference. So it's really important that you can tell that in your pitch, right?
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that will separate a fantastic campaign from a mediocre campaign. And you look at the numbers, and campaigns with videos versus not having great pitch videos. It's a massive difference, and you really have to understand the psychology of the person that you're actually trying to get to fund your product or service. So if you're looking to do something that is more focused on humanitarian issues, you really want to be going to those crowds. If you want to focus on something that has to do with technology and early movers in technology, you want to be going to those crowds. And that's how we really figured out how to create the right video. You really want to hook people.
That's right.
You want to connect with them personally. They want to be. They're backing you, not just your idea, not just their product. They want to trust you. They want to look into your eyes, and they want to know that you're somebody they can trust.
They're part of the team.
Yeah, it's people contribute. People contribute to people, and so telling a story and being transparent and all that's important.
Yeah,
and having. That's why I got this cup, by the way, guys. It's called live with purpose.
That's wonderful. And now, since we're actually talking about the videos, do you have any, in your experience, Michael, that you want to, share? Like, what are the things that you want to make sure that's in the video? Because now it's not only your idea that you love your own idea, you want other people to love your idea too. So what are the key things that you want to make sure, do I tell them who I am, my background, that, will make it stronger for them to be like, I love her. Whatever she's selling, I'm selling,
Yes. So you want to start with the personal story and start to pull them in, right? So you want to attract them with your personal story. And then immediately, what's that?
Your why.
Your why, absolutely. So what was the purpose for this? And it's also really good when you're, this is this is marketing 101, but when you're doing video content, asking great questions that inspire the listener to stay and hear the answer. So with Think Charger, we said, what if you could have a charger that and what if it did this and this and this and this and this and this and this? So we hooked them first with like all of the amazing benefits that they would experience from having a Think Charger. That's the first 15, 20 seconds of the video. So we just hooked them. And then we went back and started telling the personal story. Hi, I'm Amy and Seymour Segnet. We're from blah, blah, blah. And then you start to create the background, why you did it. And then you show them, what needs to be done, how you're doing it, and all of the people that are supporting it. It's always great, like, to have testimonials in those videos. So if you can record a small snippet of your video and then take that video and show people and actually record them watching that video, giving positive testimonials about how excited they are about your project, that's a great way to get testimonials even before, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't have a product yet, I can't get a testimonial. That's not true. You can get testimonials about people excited about your project.
And also, because this actually has money involved. So do you want to share with your, like future
it's a good point, because you need to have clear funding goals as well as what is the money being used for.
And how will that sound like, or, be like in the video?
You gotta be transparent. So you gotta let people know that this is what we're raising the funds for. This is how it's going to be utilized, and be specific. Not be too vague, because people like to know like where the money is going. And the more transparent you can be about it, then the more likely they might want to pitch in.
All right, got that.
Yeah, and so when you're talking in the video, I mean, that's exactly right, John. So, being transparent, being authentic, letting them know what the money is for, and then having very clear perks or offers, right? So with Think Charger, we had 3 perks. That's it. Buy 2 get 1 free, buy 3 get 2 free, right? And so only 3 options.
Yeah.
But almost
pretty good
everybody
deal.
Yeah, almost everybody went for the best deal, and that raises your ability to, instead of getting a backer to back 1 product, you're getting a backer to back 4, and so now you're getting, $120 in the door instead of $40 in the door. And you really have to be careful though, because you need to know your margins. But one of the things that I think a lot of people make a big mistake with when they launch is they have way too many perks and they're way too confusing.
Yeah.
Right.
What would be the sweet spot for the perks?
So between, according to the research from Indiegogo, between 3 and 8 perks.
3 to 8.
Yeah.
And have them for a limited time, as far as or quantity or something like that. Limited quantities, kind of get them enticing.
You want to create an urgency, like limited edition.
When you have too many perks, then people get confused. Like, it's like too many options and so on. So. Statistically speaking, that's kind of the data shows between 3 and 8.
Also, just to jump back real quick on the video, one thing that they did say in the Indiegogo video is that campaigns that have a video tend to raise about 114% more funds than campaigns that don't.
Yeah, so, good videos is key. Is really key.
So,
Other key points regarding great pitch is that the actual campaign of what you're raising shouldn't be too long. It shouldn't go. It should be less than 2 months. So a sweet spot that data shows is between 40 days, 45 days, less than that, less than 45 days, 40 days. So when someone's raising, don't have it up there for too long.
Yeah, because you want it to be hyped, until like you have that excitement. You want to be out there while people are still excited about this product.
Yeah, how long, with a clear deadline.
Yeah, and how long did Thing Charger run for? Their Indiegogo campaign.
So our original campaign ran for 3 months.
Okay.
But then Indiegogo introduced something called Forever Funding, or it was actually changed later to In Demand. So they brought us back and allowed us to continue to raise money as long as we were on the platform. And then what we actually did was we did a second round. So when I got involved, we had raised about $600,000, and we were about to do a second launch to raise more money. And our original Facebook marketer flaked out on us. And then so we brought in another Facebook marketer, and he flaked out on us. And so I was actually the third Facebook marketer to get a hold of this thing. And I wasn't even really a Facebook marketer at the time. I was just a guy who did a really successful podcast who was studying Facebook marketing to learn how to actually, build my business. And so I told Seymour, I said, look, we can do this ourselves. And I think this is one thing that, whether you're crowdfunding or whatever business you're in, if you go to hire a marketing company, know how to do the basics yourself. If you don't, then you are at the whims. You don't know when people are screwing you. You don't know when people are taking advantage of you. And if you know at least how to analyze the data and get in there and build ads yourself and do some different things yourself, then you can hold these folks accountable. So we just went in and said, you know what? These guys are not genies in a bottle. It's not the Wizard of Oz. Let's pull down the curtain. Let's go figure out how to turn these knobs and push these levers and do it ourselves. And we did. We ended up relaunching on our website. We raised another $7 million with Facebook ads and another $2 million with YouTube ads. We actually brought in another company to help with the YouTube ads and help us drive that.
So it's great to know that you can actually relaunch it in your own website. Like you use your own website now as a platform of your product, Thing Charger.
Right. So and I want to be very clear that you need to be very cautious if you take this route. Indiegogo, Kickstarter, they have terms and conditions, they have liability, like they are covered. So if you're going to do it on your own, you need to be very clear that you're following the law to the letter and not saying like pre-order or different things, because you can get in serious trouble because you're falsely representing what you're doing. So make sure that it's clear that it's crowdfunding. You've got a lawyer, you got the terms and conditions. Like you need to make sure all your I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
Yeah.
Definitely. The next key, number 2, to running the successful campaign is being proactive. So the marketing is key. You got to build the right marketing plan. You got to reach out to people. You can't expect for the platform to organically bring you all the sales and everything. So, within that, there are a lot of things that you need to be doing. Everything from PR to email marketing to the Facebook ads and social media, and you do some PPC, and then you got to build your own content and have bloggers, and the list goes on. But we're going to talk about a few key takeaways within that.
Right, because you want to make sure that you're, being proactive and you are sharing to your future backers your plans, and also you want to be out there because it's like, like you think about it's free money, but not really, because you're working for it, right? You have to put like your content. You want to make sure you update people what's going on, right? So what was your experience with that? Updating and everything.
Boy. So let me give you a hard knock story when it comes to crowdfunding.
Okay.
So, this is hardware is hard, right? And so we've got this amazing little product, and it's really fantastic. But getting this stuff designed and made is incredibly difficult, and it's always more expensive than you anticipate, and it always takes longer. So when we launched the campaign, we were expecting to have backers filled within 6 months. But it ended up taking almost 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and so what do you do with your backers in that time? We had 80,000 backers.
Whoa.
What do you do with those people who are coming back at you and saying, where's my thing? Where's my thing? Where's my thing? Where's my thing? So what we ended up doing was creating a weekly hangout, Google Hangout, so that we would show up every single week with the team and talk people through where we were, where we're going, what's going on behind the scenes. And sometimes it was incredibly difficult because we'd go week to week to week without really any new news. We're just waiting on the developers, waiting on
just to hang out.
Yeah, and so we're just hanging out, telling people, look, you can see me. I'm not in Tijuana. I'm not in the Bahamas. We're not, smoking your money. We're here. We're working. But we don't have the ability to just get the product. And so that was really hard. And, we could have done a better job of doing that earlier because we ended up reacting when people were getting really upset instead of being proactive. So if I could give anybody advice out there, if you're doing any sort of crowdfunding campaign, any sort of hardware, anything that's everything's going to take longer than you think it's going to. Just build it in, right? Build it in and start at the beginning. Weekly updates, letting people know what's going on. Just they want to know that they're not being scammed. That's it.
Yeah, and that's really it, because I actually went through an experience that I don't remember if it was Kickstarter or Indiegogo, where I, was a backer. I was waiting. I'm like, all right, this is going to be coming here right before, I think it was before my birthday, so in November. Never got there. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And never came, and never heard from them. I kind of forgot about it. And then one day, poof, I got an email. Hey, we're so sorry that we had this problem in China and did this and, our design. And I'm like, all right, here come all the excuses. So definitely communicating with your backers is key, and letting them know what's going on. Because once they started to communicate, they would communicate more often and kind of put me at ease, knowing, okay, this is coming. It's, they're still working on it. They send pictures and updates. So definitely communication is very key in, keeping your backers happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not agree more.
And I think this is where you will, get those amazing videos out, because you'll be like, hey guys, this is our week 50 and no products yet. But hey, we are doing such amazing thing, and having some turtle collections, things that you would just want to share.
Turtle product.
Yeah.
Start bringing all the turtles and everything.
We
pivoted. But we're still alive. Yeah.
Definitely, man.
All right.
I hope your video's not frozen right now.
All right.
Are you still there, Mike?
You still there?
I'm still here. Yeah. Can you not see me?
Yes.
Well, we can see you with a great smile on your face. But we can hear you okay.
We should screenshot this.
Right.
Yes.
So we'll just keep going. We'll just keep going.
Keep going.
So the next part too. Well, we jumped to the end, but let's, since we still got some time in our show, let's talk a little bit more about the actual being proactive, the marketing process, the different elements that are involved in the marketing process. So there's quite a lot here. I mean, this could take us. This is a.
Let's have Michael walk us through what he did, and as far as what their strategy was, as far as did they use Facebook? They obviously use Facebook and YouTube, but what other platforms did they use, and kind of how'd you make sure to reach your right audience?
Yeah,
but
yeah, absolutely.
But let's take it from the top though, before we get into the media part. Just about the first initial, which is just researching your target audience. Really knowing who your customer is. So when you're building out your video, you're creating your copy, you're planning your media buys and everything, you can go ahead and
customer
have some
persona.
data. Yeah, get the customer persona, your initial beachhead market, which is your initial early adopters. Who they are, and they're finding your customer persona and everything.
Right.
But what did you guys do to kind of identify your customer audience? Were you part of that part?
So the first round originally, when we launched, is we started to focus on men who were interested in crowdfunding and who were tech early adopters, right? So that was the original crowd that we believed was going to be successful, and they were. When we were driving traffic to Indiegogo, we did very well with those folks. What was interesting was that changed over time. So by time I got on board, I was actually learning about those backers, and then we started to look around at other people who were following us. So we started to identify other folks. And we started to notice that women between the ages of 35 and 65 absolutely loved the product. So we started marketing to them, and it just exploded. And we were like, oh my God. And so what we did was we took all of the email addresses of all the people who had contributed, and we started creating lookalike audiences in Facebook. And then wham, it exploded again. So, that's really the key, as you were saying, John, is understanding your audiences and, really identifying the key demographics, but always be looking around the edges. Always be utilizing the data you have to see if there are other sweet spots and other demographics that might also be interested in your product, because a lot of times you won't even realize who's interested in your product until you start testing those audiences. And that's why it's so important when you're doing Facebook marketing to start broad and then gather data and then start to narrow. Like if you're not making money right away when you start doing Facebook ads, nobody does. You really have to be able to invest some money to spend intelligently to gather data and then really start to find the users that are going to connect with your product or service.
Yeah. So you want to be flexible because, the thing evolves. And just like what you said, you've been like in the charger for 2 years. So that's a lot of, evolving that happens there. So you want to make sure that if you say men and then, that suddenly it changes, then you are flexible enough to adopt, because change is the only permanent thing.
Yeah.
Right. And luckily, the content and the assets that we had created were, they weren't gender specific, they weren't age specific. It was just like people were just like, wow, when they saw this product. But we could go to the younger generation and they just didn't buy it as much. They didn't back us because they're going, well, I'm on the move all the time. Like this thing just stays in the wall. But what we found was the older ladies were commenting saying, I love that it stays in the wall. My kid can't steal it.
Okay.
That's some interesting insight.
You just solved a universal problem. Thank you, Thing Charger.
Yeah. And also, too, as you something to keep in mind as you're putting together the marketing plan for your campaign is that you want to be able to try to get 30 to 40% of your funding goal within the first 3 days. So this is some stats and the reason why is because one, these platforms have algorithms that if you are doing well, then they're gonna reward you for it. So if you're out there promoting and everything and you're quickly reaching your goal, then you're gonna get found on the discovery pages, and then you're gonna get further up. So you get more exposure on the actual platforms. And another reason is so psychologically, when somebody is going to the offer, they see that there's a lot of action and they want to be part of like hottest new item. So if this thing is moving and so on, then like, yeah, man, I want to be part of that. Versus, if it's kind of trickling in really slowly, it makes it a little more difficult. So part of that is like what we're talking about, Michael, is putting together a goal that is not too high. Because you might have I'm going to want to raise millions and millions of dollars. Okay, great. But if it's too high, then it's very difficult to get it trending, to get it moving fast, and it could also scare away some people who might think like, oh man, we'll never reach that goal. They'll never get funded, and I'll never get my product. So it can scare some people away.
Exactly, and I think it's so important to remember that when you're marketing a new product and when you're entering the crowdfunding fray, there's so much psychology that you need to understand about the user. And so just as you said, John, somebody comes in and they see that your goal is $5 million, and they're like, they see that you have 1,000. What's the confidence level of that person that they're going to think that that's going to happen? And why would they put their money towards it? They don't even think you're going to reach your goal. So why would they even invest? So, with ThinkCharger, Seymour originally did a $25,000 goal, and we blew past it. And that was a major sign of confidence for future backers, because they're going, okay, these guys know what they're doing. People are giving them money hand over fist. It's going crazy. Let's do it. And that's another thing to be, I think this is something that first-time crowdfunders don't do enough of is math. because when you have a certain amount of when you have a certain amount of margin, you need to know what you're going to be capable of actually providing people. And so
that's key.
If you're investing in advertising and Facebook advertising, you need to know exactly how much you can invest and at what levels of raise will allow you to do different sorts of advertising investments. So you need to know, okay, I can't actually invest in marketing, or any of the contributions that come in. I can't invest that in marketing until I have enough to cover my hard costs. And everything's always going to be more expensive. So you need to make sure you're adding some padding in there and only taking the extra money that is beyond covering your hard costs and reinvesting that into advertising. And that's how you can be very, very successful with crowdfunding.
Absolutely, man. One of the things that also you got to do in the beginning is you got to get organized. So all the stuff that we're talking about right now, you got to really create a very actionable plan. And it has to be a few months out. You can't expect to do a campaign like next month or in a few weeks. You technically can, but if you don't have enough preparation, then it's not as likely you're gonna be successful with it. So really planning ahead of time is key. And the amount of time, kind of varies on the complexity and how much you're looking to raise and so on. But as a general rule, a good 6 months of planning gives you enough time to build out these key things that you're going to need. So let's talk about that a little bit, about the key elements of like the actual marketing plan. One of the first things you need to start to kick off is your sales video, because that takes time to put together. And by the way, this is after the research. Do the research, learn about your target audience, learn about your financials, which platform, get your yes on the product, all that good stuff. So now you're ready to execute and you're putting together the plan. You got to kick off the sales videos. So finding the right sales copywriter, finding the right team for development, for design, finding the right videographers. I meant by that, and as putting not only the filming but the post production on that as well. So you got to start getting that moving into motion. The other part is with a budget. You really, from the video to the marketing that we talked about, different tools. You might have some stuff you got to license. You may have some web development work and so on. You got to start putting together a budget into all this to make sure that you are going to be able to afford executing, and not only the execution, but then post once the campaign is complete, that you're able to then have that budgeted out and so on in your plans. Right?
Very well said.
Yeah, I got nothing to add to that. Do your plan. Well, and I do have one thing to add. Be careful about analysis paralysis on the other hard end of that, right? So some people way over plan and some people way under plan. So you need to find that happy medium that allows you to actually pull the trigger. Because remember, again, this is crowdfunding. This is not even something that you have a physical product that you're selling. So you got to start sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something too that I mentioned in my previous shows, that you just got to start and get to it.
VIP.
MVP.
MVP.
Creating your minimal viable product,
or
prototype and so on, and just get started. So planning and everything, it's just, you got to start building momentum. So a few other key things, since we got before we move on to the next segment.
One quick thing is the budget. A lot of people think, oh, well, I need to have this giant big idea and I'm going to start an Indiegogo campaign. And I'm going to, make $50,000 and get my idea going, and then have no budget to really push your campaign anywhere because you didn't really think about all that. So this planning phase and budgeting is very important when it comes to making a successful campaign.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just read some of this. Actually comes from my marketing plan in launching one of these campaigns that's in development. So I'll just read some high level stuff. So one of the things you got to build is an email list. Really important. You got to build a strategy around an email list. That is what content you're going to be giving away, having a landing page, information, social media to drive traffic to it. So you got to have a strategy around building an email list. You want to try to have around 20,000 or more subscribers, ideally, before the campaign goes live. So you got to start building your list months and ahead of time. And that way it helps you get those early adopters, get those sales done in the first few days, and you build momentum and excitement around it. So build your email list.
And I'm going to drop a quick bomb right in the middle of that. And that is, look out for messenger ads and bots, because that's going to be a way to build some massive momentum in the future. I mean, bots are here now. And if you're not using messenger ads and bots, that you're missing a boat.
Yeah, that's important. Absolutely. So next thing you guys got to look at is your website being fully optimized. It's got to look right. It's got to have the right landing page. You got to have the right analytics from the basics of Google Analytics and different things in place, so you're able to track the progress of the campaign, where traffic is coming from, and be able to optimize.
The right call to action on there.
Call to actions and everything. Absolutely. Social media and optimization. You got to have a social media plan. Not only open up the profiles and have that, but constantly update them. Have resources in-house. You're going to constantly enticing people. Creating content on there is really important. So videos, pictures and so on. You got to engage with the audience. You got to build that social media following before you launch to build the anticipation.
Or if that is too much for you, just call John, First Class Alliance. You know what? Let me John do this. Just call him.
Yeah, absolutely. And next part is create a PR strategy. Really important. So as you gotta reach out to the media. So you gotta create ideas that are PR worthy. And part of how you can do this as well is you gotta build a PR database. So gathering list of journalists that talk about your product, your industry, creating a list of media sites, that are in your industry, and have all of that organized like in a Google Doc that you can put everything in there, and just build that list and start building some relationships with these journalists, get them talking about it. And especially when the launch of the campaign is around, you want to be able to then leverage some of those relationships and do the big launch, around it. So PR and building that list is key. Next, a really important point, you got to have your copywriters in place, people who can help with constant copywriting for creative writing and also sales scripts. So for like your email, as you're building your email campaign, you got to try to automate as much of this process. As people are coming in, have a drip campaign, automated emails that they're constantly being updated, they're getting excited about it, and you're building that momentum. You're not just building an email list and letting it sit there. You got to keep it hot, keep it warm, keep it exciting for these people. So a few last things is just the ongoing optimization. You really got to know the data, really got to know the numbers and understand this, so you're able to optimize accordingly and make sure you're reaching your key performance indicators, all your KPIs, your goals, and you're learning. Like Mike was saying, that you see that this audience does better than another, and be able to pivot and be able to make those adjustments and maximize your media dollars are really important.
Yep.
And the last thing is just plan for post funding in your whole campaign. Like Mike was saying, as part of the plan is keeping people informed, doing Google Hangouts, whichever ways that you find appropriate, just to keep people knowing what's going on with the product, and then from there, you can do some raising. You can do more sales. You can do post raising. You can do millions of dollars more after the campaign is actually over, which is what Mike and the team did. So
yep.
So any questions? Anything come in? You guys know?
And if you do great, and somebody wants to buy you out, do it.
That's right. Do it. That's all the hard work that, like you earned it.
Awesome.
That's the hard work. The hard work's in the back end.
So a quick question for you, Michael, is, what issues did you run into when you were, setting up this campaign, when you got in there? Obviously it's never a smooth sailing. It's not that easy. What issues did you run into, and kind of how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. Our greatest challenge was that we were so far behind in actually getting product to people, and we were still raising money at the same time. So we had new backers coming in, old backers who were complaining. So we had to build a team of almost 20 people to handle everything that we were doing, from continuing to design assets, continuing to build web design, customers or backer support. I mean, there was so much happening that we had to basically build an entire company around this campaign. Mm-hmm. So that I would definitely say, the greatest challenge was keeping the backers happy, because if you keep them happy, life is good. If you upset them, and like we did, because we were it took too long to get the product, and then B, we were late on the ball when it came to really supporting our backers and letting them know, what we were doing on a daily basis to get them their product. And we were ultimately successful. I mean, we shipped 250,000 of these units.
Wow, that's great, man.
But
and also I just want to know, is it possible that you will actually run out of budget? Like,
absolutely, it's possible.
Yeah. What do you do? Like,
I mean, that's part of the planning effectively. You really got to understand. You got to have the right budgets in place, and it's key to it. But guys, we're running out of time, so we want to. So there's a lot that goes into this. So if somebody's out there and looking to seriously launch a campaign for crowdfunding, you have the option to give us a call, 305-707-7173. You can speak with me directly about your launch ideas, firstclassalliance.com, and you get access to the entire team, from copywriters, designers, developers, strategists like Mike and myself, we and Jose and everybody we can help you launch an effective campaign on one of these crowdfunding sites.
Yeah.
So
and if you're looking to do marketing and stuff like that yourself, you can go to mikemeansmarketing.com, and I've got some free video tutorials just to show you how to get started.
That's wonderful. Awesome. Thank you for that resource.
So, guys, now it's time for the launch fuel.
The launch fuel time.
We're gonna do the crunch time this time. So for you guys that are new to the launch fuel, what we're gonna do is gonna give 3 tips on 3 different areas. One is your mindset, which is your attitude for success, for entrepreneurship. 2 is your skill set, which we're going to give a recommendation of something to read, something to study, like a book or something else. And 3 is your health tip. The health tip. So as an entrepreneur, you got to keep the body going, your mind sharp, and sharp. So we'll give a tip on that as well. So for the mindset. I have a quick quote, which I have to make quicker, which is from Coco Chanel, and the quote reads: "In order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different." So being unique and differentiating is important in building a brand. So as you're researching if this is the right product to go on Indiegogo and Kickstarter, one of those campaigns, you gotta look at that. How are you going to differentiate? When you're building the video, how are you going to differentiate? When you're building the sales script and the website, how are you going to differentiate and create value, not only for the product but personal brand as well, as your applies to both as you're doing this. Yep. So do your homework and be able to be authentic in how you're differentiating. You can't make something up, and be transparent with what you're doing, and especially in the days of social media, and build something that is truly unique and awesome. Build an awesome brand around yourself, around the product and service that you offer.
All right.
Mike, do you have I believe you had one that you wanted to add?
It's actually similar to yours. It's an Albert Einstein quote, and it's one of my favorites. And it's we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them.
Yeah.
And I think that's incredibly valuable for entrepreneurs, because if you're looking to be an entrepreneur, then you can't take a working, a 9-to-5 mindset and become an entrepreneur. It's totally different. So you need to shift your entire mindset. And that kind of leads me into my next one, the book. For me, the book. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because that did it for me. It was like, it allowed me to see the difference between, switching that mindset from, 9 to 5, working for somebody else, to the entrepreneurial mindset.
Mm-hmm. You know, I read that book too in my, I think it was late 20s. I kind of wish I would have had that when I was in high school. That should be like a mandatory
curriculum.
You know, maybe mid 20s or something. Yeah, but that made a big difference in the way and kind of looking at investments versus things that are just a waste of money and so on, and be able to start early and kind of get that mindset in building your wealth at an early age. So people...
Yeah, and I teach that to my kids, and I say, and my kids know the difference between an asset and a liability. I say, what's an asset? They're like, something that puts money in your pocket. I say, what's liability? Something that takes money out.
Oh, that's easy. You're such a great teacher, Dad.
Yeah, so recommended, guys, check out that book. For this week, I'm going to recommend something for you guys that is absolutely awesome. And it's not a book this time, but it's what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, which is the webinar for the Amazon. This is a really very gold rush what's going on right now with e-commerce, and people are buying more and more online products, and Amazon has 50% of that e-commerce out there, and it's only growing. So don't sit on the sidelines, don't wait, learn about how you can get your product sold on Amazon, and you can do it easily through white labeling, private labeling. You can learn how to source product, how to get it on there without a big investment, like your own product launch. And that's a great way to kind of start it, you know, and then you could even then from there jump into a Kickstarter campaign or Indiegogo campaign. But the way you learn about it is go to thelaunchradio.com/Amazon. Thelaunchradio.com/Amazon, and you can get into the live webinar.
Yeah.
So the last is the health tip, and we're almost at the end here. And so the health tip, we both have the same health tip, Mike and I. And the health tip is meditation. So it's you know, yes, you have your supplements, you have all that, great. But meditation has proven to be such a powerful way to calm our minds, to get centered, and to reduce cortisol levels. And so it's something that I'm doing every day. I take a few minutes, and I try to do it in nature if possible, if it allows, you know, and just take a few minutes, from 10, 15 minutes to, there's different ways to meditate, but you could breathe, you could be in a state of gratitude.
Yeah.
You could do a guided meditation through different apps and so on.
Yeah.
So yes,
because the world is very noisy now, you know, with all the Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, and you just want to be silent for a moment and be with the real and truly highest expression of you, which you can, you know, get through meditation.
Yes. So, Mike, one of the things of being in live radio is that we have a show after us, so we have to wrap up, guys. But everybody. Check out firstclassalliance.com. If you want more information on what we spoke about, you can reach both of us there as well. And
that's it.
And please tune in next week, same time, same place, 6 to 7 p.m. on thelaunchradio.com, Facebook /thelaunchradio. And guys, thank you. Thank you, Mike, for being on the show.
Thank you, Mike. We really appreciate you.
Definitely. We'll see you next time.
See you on next time. The Launch Radio episode 6 and next Friday episode.
Give First Class Alliance a call at 305-707-7173. First Class Alliance was voted as one of the top 15 digital marketing agencies by the South Florida Business Journal, specializing in branding, product launch strategy, and digital marketing. First Class Alliance can really help you grow your business and maximize your profits. Give us a call at 305-707-7173 or find us on the web at firstclassalliance.com. That's firstclassalliance.com. You have been tuned in to The Launch, where we help you build engaging and meaningful brands. Connect with us on the web at thelaunchradio.com and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at The Launch Radio.
Hi, this is Kai Kawasaki. Thanks for listening to The Launch.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsor